I'll call this meeting to order on Monday, July the 1st, 2013. I want to welcome everyone. Very glad to have with us tonight Pastor Pam McCurdy of the Bethany United Methodist Church at 760 Hurt Road, who's going to come forward to give us our invocation and also lead us in the pledge to the flag. So would everyone please rise.
Let us pray. Almighty and compassionate God, we thank you for the blessings of this day and the gift of life. We acknowledge your sovereignty over all of creation and pray for your guidance in the governing of our city. Pour out on all here a measure of your wisdom, so that the decisions made in this place are shaped by compassion, grace, justice, mercy, and peace. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with justice for all.
And for those folks that are looking for a church or want to change, I'm sure the folks at Bethany, which is located at Hurt and Hicks Road on the right, if you're going out. Thank you so much. Item 2 is agenda changes, and we do not have any. Item 3 is mayor's report. And we've got a proclamation in recognition of Becky Jones School of Dance, celebrating 40 years. And I'm going to ask that Corky Welch, I'm going to ask Becky's back there somewhere. And Becky, you can bring up anybody you want to. I know these kids in these pink shirts are there for a reason. If you want to bring up, you've got to come up and your husband and I think your son may be back there on the back row. Probably does not want to come up. Looks like it's just going to be Becky. Who's they? You can bring up whoever you want to. There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Right here. Yep.
These are all my supporters. They're students, former students, mothers of students, family.
And I actually found out about this because I went to a recital, my granddaughter's recital.
I know you did.
Yep, sat on the front row, I think.
I know you did.
It was wonderful.
Thank you.
Yep. The best part was they pushed out a guy in a grocery cart.
That was my husband.
That's what I thought.
That's Mr. Becky. His name is Mr. Becky. Becky.
This is great in Hayward.
And this is also Katie's father-in-law. She's a former student. Katie?
Yeah.
From about 25 years?
Yes.
Before I do this, I want to mention to me, we were talking this weekend to Katie, and she knew this was happening, and she mentioned that Becky still dances at every recital, if not everyone, almost every recital that she has after 40 years. So that's a testimony to itself. But at this time, let me read a proclamation by the mayor of the city of Smyrna in recognition of 40 years Becky Jones School of Dance. Whereas Becky Jones School of Dance has been a Smyrna institution for 40 years with a long-standing tradition of providing outstanding instruction to cultivate young dancers. And whereas Becky Jones has been teaching dance for over 38 years. She is an Atlanta native who has been dancing since the age of 6. And whereas after having a girl, Becky decided to pursue her dreams of teaching dance with the philosophy that children should have fun and enjoy themselves as they learn to dance. With that in mind, classes began on the lower level of the Jones split-level home, and neighborhood children were enrolled. As word of mouth spread the news of Becky Jones' classes, the number of students quickly grew what her home could hold, and Becky opened her first studio at Dixon Center in Smyrna. And whereas soon after opening, Becky experienced the loss of the original studio to fire, the Becky Jones School of Dance moved across Concord Road and stayed in that location until it closed for construction of a new development. As of January 2008, the dance studio returned to its original location at Dixon Center at 3316 South Cobb Drive. Becky considers her school to have come full circle with the move back to the school's first home. And whereas the Becky Jones School of Dance is a family-friendly dance studio with Becky, her accomplished staff giving students a solid understanding a proper technique while also developing self-discipline, physical fitness, and a greater appreciation of movement and music, all while having fun. Now, therefore, I, A. Max Bacon, Mayor of the City of Smyrna, do hereby proclaim July 1st, 2013 as a day of recognition for Becky Jones School of Dance, and encourage all city residents, officials, and staff to congratulate Becky and the entire staff on their many accomplishments and contributions to the community.
I would like to thank you for this honor, and I feel this has just been the greatest thing that happened. So thank you so much. And could I let them come up and introduce themselves real quick? No, I won't do that. I just want to say this. Former students, parents, raise your hand. Okay, students, raise your hand. Moms, raise your hand. Okay, family, my family's back there. They won't come up, but my husband's here. So thank you very much again.
I'll just say this, that I went this year, and it's, I don't know how many shows that you'd had that day.
4.
4 that day.
I had 3 that day and 1 the night before.
And it was great. And
Thank
the
you.
number of kids that have gone through this, through your school has just been phenomenal. And it's just, it's great for our community. That's what makes our community, is businesses like Becky Jones School of Dance, and it's great. We really appreciate
Thank you, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep on.
I don't want you to go anywhere.
Okay, thank you so much.
Good deal. Thank y'all. I do want to make one note before we get into the regular portion of the agenda. Melanie Pritchett is in the hospital, and she's doing well. Hopefully she'll be out soon. And also Andrea Bluestein, her father passed away, I think last Thursday, and she is in Philadelphia, so Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So we hope that Melanie will be back soon, and also that we are so sorry about Andrea Bluestein's father. Item 4 is land issue, zonings, and annexation. We have none. Item 5 is privilege licenses. We have none. Item 6 is formal business. And I believe what the city attorney wants us to do is move item 8B from the consent agenda up to item 6 and make it 6A. Scott, is that correct? I don't know if we need any official action. I think we can just maybe just bring it up and just. Well, then we need to
Your Honor, I will move item 8B from the consent agenda to become item 6A under formal business.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor of the motion. I hope we can do this under the new software packet. Okay. It's not going to do, and we've talked about this before, making changes on the agenda. I don't know if we can do it or not. Okay. All right. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Okay. That's approved 5-0. All right. Now, so we got an item 6A is the award RFP 13-015 for outdoor digital signage to Mastar Signs for an amount not to exceed $100,000 and authorize the mayor to sign and execute all related documents. Tammy, you want to give the background on that, and then we'll vote on that.
Sure, thank you. 6 bids were received on Wednesday, June the 12th, for digital outdoor monument signs to be located at 5 various locations here in the city of Smyrna. We narrowed that 6 bids down to the top 3, and from that top 3, we invited those vendors to come in and do presentations and also to do interviews with a staff committee. From that top three, we narrowed it down to our recommendation that it be Mastar Signs, which is located in Greenville, South Carolina. And although Mastar is not the lowest price, it was rated the highest in a thorough review of our staff committee. So with that said, the staff would like to recommend that RFP 13015 for outdoor digital monument signs be awarded to Mastar Signs in an amount not to exceed $100,000. And this is a capital improvement project.
Okay, that is the background on that, and not sure who's going to. Terry.
Well, at this point, I would like to move to remove that item from the agenda, item 6A, to remove it from the agenda tonight.
Scott, should we remove it or reject the bids? What would be the best answer?
If it depends on what you want to do. If you if your intent is to reject the bid and rebid it, then you would just reject. You'd move to reject the bid.
Yeah. And for item 6A, I move to reject the bid for the signs. That would be, I move to reject awarding the RFP 13-015 for outdoor digital signage to Mass Star Signs for an amount not to exceed $100,000.
Second.
Motion is second. Is there any discussion? I think one of the things that we talked about was having more details, I think. But we have a motion and a second to reject all the bids.
Parliamentary inquiry.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion, please vote. That's approved 5-0. All right, item 7 is commercial building permits. We have none. Item 8 is consent agenda. All we have on there is the approval of June 17th, 2013 Mayor and Council meetings. So I'd ask that we approve the consent agenda.
Your Honor, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor of the motion, please vote. It's approved 5-0. Item 9 is committee reports. We'll start tonight with Ms. Terry Nulowich.
Thank you. I want to wish Melanie Pritchett all the best for a speedy recovery. I look forward to seeing her up here soon. Nothing against Corky, but I miss having my XX chromosome buddies up here on the dais with me. I would also like to wish Andrea Bluestein very deep sympathies. It's a very difficult time for her right now. And finally, I'd like to remind everyone that the next summer concert is scheduled for next Saturday, July 13th at 7 p.m. on the Village Green. With that, I yield.
Mr. Corky Welch.
Mr. Mayor, I have no report this evening. Thank you, sir.
Ms. Susan Wilkinson.
Thank you, Your Honor. I do not have any reports tonight. Thank you.
Mr. Wade Lineker.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll be brief. I do want to extend my well wishes to Melanie in the hospital. That is no fun for anybody, and she needs to recover, and I hope she does so soon and thoroughly. And again, my deepest sympathies to Andrea on the loss of her father. I know that's a difficult time. We hope both of them are back with us soon. With that, everyone have a great Independence Day holiday, and I yield.
Mr. Ron Fennell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also echo my colleague's sentiment, both of our missing council members tonight, for one for her health and the other for the loss in her family. We wish them the best, and our prayers are with them. I do want to remind everyone for the 4th of July holidays and those who choose to handle fireworks, our fire department reminds you that you have certain responsibilities when you're handling fireworks. Please be careful about not setting accessory fires accidentally, and do your best to maintain safety at every call. And if you have supervisory roles in your family, please make sure you exercise those for protection of the smaller ones. One other thing, I do want to thank Chief David Lee for attending the Bennett Woods Garden Club in Colonial Hills with me last week. He provided the community with an opportunity to hear about our Neighborhood Watch program. He brought Sergeant First Class Mike Smith with him, as well as Mr. Kaysen, who is now running the Neighborhood Watch program, and it was well received. And you should be proud of your police department and what they're doing in the community, particularly on the outreach like that kind of program. With that, Mr. Mayor, I yield.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Lineker.
I do want to talk about one other thing very briefly that I forgot about. We lost last week a longtime Smyrna resident and citizen who did a lot to make our community a better place, and that was Dr. Donald Marshall, the dentist who, with his partner, Dr. Bob Maynor, owned the medical office building next door to City Hall. I've been going to that practice since the late 50s when my family moved here and I was a child, Dr. Marshall was a great dentist. His daughter and son continue that practice today. One of the great things about Dr. Marshall was he spent a lot of time giving back, not just to the community, but to the world. It seemed like every year he was on one or more mission trips to South America, Central America, Africa, Asia, wherever, to provide dental care at no charge as part of a mission outreach project. And that says a lot about the character of the man. So my deepest condolences to his family. I saw them last week and expressed that in person. And we will miss Dr. Donald Marshall in Smyrna. Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Tammy Sadler-Jones? Okay. Scott? Ms. Graham? Anything? We do not have a show cause hearing. We've got some folks signed up for citizens input. Alec Backley, 3459 Shawnee Trail, comments.
I brought up the water profits from 11 to 12. That was 1.58 million in profits that went from the water department back to the general fund. I just found out for the 12-13 ending yesterday that another $1.5 million was transferred back to the general fund. I would like somebody to take this most recent one and tell me what happens to the money, how it's spent somewhere else in the general fund. If there's a legitimate priority that I'd love to know about, or the people of the city, to justify why they didn't use the $1.5 million to save this 6.5 water increase starting today. At one of your council meetings, you stressed that you were on the break even or trying to cover costs. If you've got $1.5 million profit, these increases that we've had this last year shouldn't be happening. And I'd love someone to tell me where that money goes when it gets back in the general fund, so we can understand and justify these increases to accept. If not, I think we have the right, since it's our money, to ask you if one of you in front of me can do that, because the people in the city are confused when they hear about this profit margin, why they're going up. It's like paying Peter to take to Paul. It doesn't wash, and I would love to see that covered a little better by someone in front of me. My second comment is, Mayor, now that you've announced you are the campaign manager for Bob Barr running for U.S. Congress, that's, again, I brought it up last time, it's a full-time job. I don't know how you're going to justify your time being part-time mayor and doing that. And a lot of people would love to hear from you on how you feel you're going to justify your salary with the city and yet to do something on a demanding level for that particular U.S. Congress seat. That's a high-level position. I know that takes a lot of time, but I think that you should explain how you can do both effectively. I would sure like to hear it, and I thank you for your time.
Larissa Edwards, 304 Hickory, God's Formula.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Larissa Edwards. I am the Messiah. I am here to prove it. Now, before I go any further, I'd like to address something, because I'm really getting tired of people telling me that I'm not the Messiah. So I'm going to ask you guys a question. How many people in here believe Jesus is the Messiah? By a show of hands. And I should see every hand. Every hand. Very good. So I have a question for those of you who showed your hands and who you didn't. If Jesus was the Messiah, would we have genocide, rape, sodomy, children torn to shreds? If Jesus was the Messiah, would we have gone through the First and Second World War, the Revolutionary, Iraq, Iran? No, ladies and gentlemen, Jesus is not the Messiah. I'm very sorry. And I'm going to prove it right now. This, ladies and gentlemen, is God's formula. Okay, and we're going to go over it because it's simple math. Can everybody see it? Simple math. These are large angles. What we're going to do because everybody remembers the greater than and the less than area. I promise you it's not rocket science, okay? We're going to put a P in the first angle. And I bet you thought P stood for peace, but it doesn't. It stands for positive, okay? And the opposite of positive is what? Negative. So we're going to put a N, and I know my spelling is backwards. I just want you guys to see it, because negative is the opposite of positive, right? We learned that in about kindergarten. Okay, here we go. Moving right along, we're going to put an M in the second large greater than area, and the opposite, and N stands for many. It does not stand for maker, okay? Many is the opposite of what? Few, okay? This is God's formula, and anything that is mostly positive is right, because we don't want anything mostly negative, and anything that's mostly in favor of many is also positive and right. So anything that is not right. So what we're going to do is we're going to write down God's formulas. Many over few, positive over negative, and right over not right. This is God's only path to God's future. There are no any other ways. This is it, one way. Mr. Mayor, I'm going to bring your attention to Section 8 of the Muni Code. And it says, in the event the office of mayor or city council should become vacant by death, resignation, or removal from city, or otherwise, the mayor and council should yada, yada, yada. As God's representative, only true representative, Mr. Mayor, I want to make sure you're not violating God's formula. We already know that you guys voted publicly already for satanic formula, few over many, by wanting a gym for just yourselves, and the hell with everybody else in Smyrna. That's satanic. Few over many is wrong. I'm sorry. Okay? So, Mr. Mayor, I gave you an opportunity to step down before. I'm going to say that you still have an opportunity to voluntarily step down. My name is Larissa Edwards, Peacemaker for President.
Mary Kirklandall, 1078 Oakview. No honesty in the city.
Well, I'll definitely second that. Okay, I want to know when the honesty is going to, is there ever going to be any honesty in this city? Any time, ever? Mayor, you are constantly saying, and I was cut off last time before my time was up, so I'll just carry on with what I was presenting, that the mayor is constantly saying projects aren't moving forward in Atlanta. You're lying. You're absolutely lying to your citizens. And any fool can drive around Atlanta and see what's going on. There are projects going up everywhere. Of course, we're in a bad economy, but boy, oh boy, the cities that are doing well are really going out there scouting things, making a plan. They have a vision. Just this week, there were more announcements. Up in Cherokee County, in Alpha Roofs, car manufacturing, Sunroofs, just announced their big manufacturing $17 million investment and 300 high-skilled jobs coming to Cherokee. You know, they've been looking for a place for 4 years, and there are companies out there looking to locate, and we're just sitting here dead. The city's dead, you guys. Nobody's coming here. And it makes me angry, because I put a for sale sign on my house, but I'll guarantee you the only way for me to get out of Smyrna, and many of us, is to just give our houses away. That's unfair, and you're not doing your job when you put us in that position. Also, Athena Health just announced that they're going to be expanding their Georgia location into the new Ponce City market, which I mentioned last week, because Atlanta's making plans for things and putting things together to have the door open so companies can come in. Where's a company going to come? To the vacant lot at Jonquil? To a rundown neighborhood over at Hickory Lakes? You know, you've done nothing to increase any value by tearing those apartments down. You've only laid the map work out for you and Bob Barr and Jay Wallace to get together and do whatever you're planning on doing, I hope you can bring a manufacturer there, but I'd seriously doubt any type of ammo or gun manufacturer is going to locate right behind on South Cobb Drive there in Windy Hill. But I think that's the plan. But I don't think we have to worry much about Bob Barr because there is a very excellent conservative running for the same seat. His name is Barry Loudermilk out of Cartersville. He's being backed by Super PAC, GOP Super PAC, Restore the Republic, and everybody needs to look for him, Barry Loudermilk. That's who you need to vote for. Bob Barr is nothing but an opportunist, and the same as Max Bacon. And our city's in big trouble, and the citizens, I feel like I'm in big trouble. If I leave, I got to give my house away. And Concord Road is a mess. Corky Welch, you have no report. Why don't you report on what's going on Concord Road? Why don't you get Croy Engineering to spend some of that $20 million, put a sign up to tell people what's coming there. But it's not fair to have that road in that disaster.
It's up, ma'am.
You know what it's doing to our neighborhood?
Time is up, ma'am.
I'll be back.
I don't believe the Messiah ever used profanity, and then we heard one of the Messiahs tonight use some profanity. So I just like, it becomes more clear that this is a free country and folks can get up and say what they want to say. It doesn't make any difference if it's true or not. But anyway, I declare this meeting adjourned at 7:57.